What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
Opinionated, outspoken, informative. The Jaguar Journal. Your source for the latest information on Southern University sports and SWAC athletics. A Baton Rouge sports talk tradition.
All right, good morning. Bright and early on a Saturday morning. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody out there. Guess what? It's Saturday. Good to have you guys with us, everybody out there listening on 107.3 FM. Turn your radio up. Glad to have you this morning. And, of course, everybody across all our social media sites, YouTube, Facebook. We're on X. We're on Instagram. Mike got everything up and rolling. He also has the Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Just simply type in the Jaguar Journal. Head over to X and Instagram. You'll see Jaguar Journal _. Then, of course, on Facebook, the Jaguar Journal. On any of those sites, you can follow our link tree in the social media outlets for the description to see all of the platforms. So that way you can keep up with us. We are growing. Mike is behind the scenes making sure he's putting every piece to the puzzle together. We're going to improve and do some better and bigger things in 2025 as we continue to move forward. But nonetheless, the platform is there. Now that the platform is there, we just simply need you to support it. Hit the follow button. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Nothing that we do is charging you on any of those sites. It's just asking for you to support it, as we see an uptick in support of people hitting those buttons that I'm asking you to do. So continue to do so. And for those that's listening on the radio, we love to have you each and every Saturday here on 107.3, even whether you're a supporter of the show or you just a listener trying to just get filled in what's going on. And I'm going to fill you in what's going on because guess what? How many of you guys lost some money on the Super Bowl? I know y'all out there online betting. I know you're on FanDuel and DraftKings and whatever else is out there, Prize Picks. I know y'all out there sports betting. Now, you may not have picked the Kansas City Chiefs in the money line. You may not have picked them in the money line. But did you pick them in the spread? And because if you picked them in the spread, did you see the score going the direction that it was going to go? I can tell you from personally, I did not. I didn't bet this year. And normally what I do when it comes to betting, especially on games like that, I go beyond the teams. I go player props. I try to, test my hand at the player prop of what guy's going to do this, what guy's going to do that. Nobody really came through for Kansas City. So if you went player props, I'm sure people wanted Travis Kelce, so many X amount of yards, touchdowns. Pretty sure Mahomes with that same number. 40-22 was the score. The Philadelphia Eagles get the victory over the Kansas City Chiefs down in New Orleans. New Orleans. And let me tell you, I went to the Super Bowl. New Orleans should host the Super Bowl every year. I just believe no other place in America can give you the type of energy that I felt down in New Orleans. Now, look, I can say that because it was my first Super Bowl. It's not like I'm a, expert at Super Bowls. It was my first Super Bowl. But listen, I've been to plenty of big-time events down in New Orleans, from NBA All-Star Weekend to the NCAA Basketball National Championships, the Sugar Bowls, and now the Super Bowl, the Bayou Classic. I just thought no other city could give you that. And I believe because of the walking proximity, everything right there within the French Quarters, you get to these other cities, things kind of spaced out away from getting to the stadium within itself. Stadiums are typically somewhere kind of far off from mostly where everybody's sitting. Where everybody's staying, hotels, entertainment. The Superdome, hey, couple lefts, a couple rights, 3-4 blocks up the street, boom, you in the mix. Good luck on the Uber and everything else if you don't have a police escort because of the traffic. And the security around the place, the perimeter that was set. I've never seen any sporting event like that personally for myself. But I'm sure some of you guys, I was cheering for the Chiefs. They didn't come through for me. 40-22 was the final score. Man, listen. How about the Eagles' offense, but more importantly, how about their defense? Sacking Patrick Mahomes 6 times in that ball game. You saw the difference with the weapons that Jalen Hurts had around him. Jalen Hurts, of course, with Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, right here from Amite, Louisiana. You saw the difference of the cast of stars that he had. Jalen Hurts, of course, 17-22, 222 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and an interception in this one. Also, how about what he was able to do with his legs on the ground? 11 carries for 72 yards and a touchdown. Saquon Barkley, not the monster stats that you would have assumed. 25 carries for 57 yards. He was averaging 2 yards a carry, just enough. How about the 2 big receivers? Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith, 4 receptions, 69 yards, and a touchdown. His longest was 46. And then A.J. Brown on the other side, 3 receptions for 43 yards and a touchdown. Devontae averaged 17 yards a catch, A.J. 14 yards a catch. That's the type of stuff you need. Jalen Hurts also getting a touchdown on the ground. That's the type of weapons you need around you. Now, we understand, look, Kansas City came into this game, and I can tell you just from fantasy football this year, injury. Patrick Mahomes is just good enough to finesse the vast majority of the NFL, in which he did. He finished this game 21-32, 257 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, but it was the 2 interceptions and the 6 sacks that really hurt. He was the leading rusher for the Kansas City Chiefs with 4 carries for 25 yards. Kareem Hunt right behind him, 3 carries, 9 yards. And Samaje Perine, 1 carry, 8 yards, along with Isaiah Pacheco with 3 carries and 7 yards. No run game there to help balance it out. Xavier Worthy, 8 receptions for 157 yards and 2 touchdowns. Travis Kelce, a very quiet day from him. 4 receptions for 39 yards. DeAndre Hopkins, and along with Juju Smith-Schuster, both really non-factors. DeAndre Hopkins on the back end, 2 receptions, 16 yards. 2 receptions, 18 yards, and a touchdown. Juju Smith, 2 receptions with 16 yards, no touchdown. Hollywood Brown, quiet as a mouse. 2 receptions, 15 yards. No production. And there's only so much Mahomes can do. Was he running around for his life? Underhanding it, pitching it. It was only so much he could do. We saw that with Jalen Hurts in the first time he was in the Super Bowl. You got to get a cast of guys around you to be able to take the pressure off your quarterback. And when they put the pressure on the quarterback, he cannot get set in the pocket. He's running around, as the old folks say, like a chicken with his head cut off. It just made it a tough day. One of the worst performances we've seen of Kansas City, Andy Reid, and Patrick Mahomes in a while, especially on the big stage as they had an opportunity to go for a three-peat. So to the Eagles fans, I say to you, congratulations, your second Super Bowl in NFL history. To the Chiefs fans, better luck next year. All right, let's get ready to take a break. We come back on the other side. We're going to have my man Jeff Conyers, the head tennis coach over at Southern University. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be back more to Jaguar Journal.
Quincy Richard is the quarterback. And, Don, this is a man who's really changed his game from last season, and he's a graduate student as well.
Yes, he has, Bob. Quincy Richard has matured into the unquestioned leader of this Southern University offensive attack. 10 wins this season, and he set school marks for passing yards and touchdown passes. And Bobby's had a lot of help, only 5 sacks on the season.
He earned his undergraduate degree back in August. He's taking some master's classes, and he wants to be a lawyer.
Here's Richard looking in the end zone. Has a man there. Touchdown, Southern University.
Play clock down to 3. Richard gets it off over the middle. Touchdown!
Holmes goes in motion and comes set on a 1st and 10. Richard completes it. That's Ard. Ard down the sideline. He could go. And finally pushed out of bounds. Richard's run for 10 touchdowns this season. He's going to keep it. Richard goes in. Make it 11 for Quincy Richard. Richard wide open. Touchdown, Chris Davis. Oh, does he love playing football even more now?
That in the flag against Grambling, holding on the kickoff.
Richard looking deep, and it's a touchdown.
But only 3 times did he go down. Twice he ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. It goes down as a sack.
2nd and 8, the deep ball, and that's our man Chris Davis for the touchdown. Time for today's State Farm Players of the Game. And from Southern University, the quarterback, number 15, Quincy Richard, 34 of 42, 552 yards, 5 touchdown passes.
Quincy, on behalf of State Farm Insurance Companies, I want to present you with a trophy for the most outstanding player today. Congratulations.
We're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Hey, bright and early on this Saturday morning. Good morning to everybody out there listening. 7:17 a.m. for our live listeners. For those who are going to listen back a little bit, and for a good show today. And as we get started with the first guest of the show, he's no stranger to us. He has been around Southern a while. Matter of fact, he's been around so long. Every time I hear athletic director Roman Banks bring his name up, it's always championship in front of it. So I want to welcome to the show this morning head men's and women's tennis coach at Southern University, championship Conyers, Jeffrey Conyers. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Mr. Perry. How you doing today?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
Oh, man, doing wonderful, To be a Jaguar, always wonderful.
I love to hear that energy right there. Let me talk to you, Coach Conyers, because as we get ready to move forward, we're into the spring. You guys are about to get rock and rolling. Give me some updates of what's going on in tennis on both the men and the women's side over at Southern University.
Well, we like you said, we're gearing up for the season right now. We did get the season finally started. We finally got the season started after a slow pause to it with the snowstorm. That weekend we're supposed to have 2 matches with the women. Fortunately, with the guys, we've been able to have all our matches. It was just the girls that got pushed back, the ladies that got pushed back. But we started off, we try to play our way into shape. The guys started off with LSU and Tulane, South Alabama, some really tough teams. Try to get our groove going. Sometimes you never know what these kids are gonna do during the break. So I try to play them into shape, and fortunately they've been playing pretty good. We had a setback on the men's side on Thursday. It was we had Nicholls State, and my number 1 guy he wasn't able to go because of an ankle injury. That didn't happen on the court. So I don't know how the kids get clumsy outside of the playing area and things of that nature. So I don't know. I don't know. He told me one story, but I got to think something else. So luckily on the men's side we got a couple weeks. We got a week and a half off before we get back into action. So hopefully get that ankle back up and ready. On the women's side, we had McNeese yesterday. The women have played, I think, 2 matches so far. We started up with Tulane down in New Orleans, and McNeese yesterday. Some good fight with them. We've had some good fight with the women. We have a very seasoned program on the women's side. The men are still coming back. Second year under my tutelage. But we're going to get there. We're going to get there on the men's side. I think 1 more year, but we're going to fight hard. We're going to fight. We're going to fight on the men's side. On the women's side, we're going to fight as well. Got a good group there, led by former freshman player of the year, Jessica Hess, Paris Washington, one of the only Louisiana native on the team. She's at the 1 spot. They could be trading off 1 and 2 with Jessica Hess. So we're looking for some big things out of the women's program this year.
Let me ask you this, Coach, because, I'm around tennis, but I'm not entrenched in tennis to understand, like, how does it work for preparation for you? Because even with the ups and downs of already having an established program in your women's side, but to even just get off a program in terms of bringing back the men's tennis team, just getting that off from the ground and working it back up, what goes into that, Coach?
And it goes getting the program back up at the ground. It takes a lot of prayer and a lot of patience. It's gonna be stressful, I didn't know the ins and outs of bringing a program back fresh, and I thought this year was gonna be the year. We had a major setback with the program towards the middle of last semester. We found out one of the guys that we had brought in the year before wasn't going to be eligible to play because, unfortunately, he played 3 years at a JC that he was at. So he played 2 years of COVID, which kind of messed up a lot of players around the JC world when those schools decided to play 2 COVID years. 1 year wasn't acknowledged by the NCAA, so they basically played 3 years, so leading a lot of JC players with only 1 year eligibility. So once we brought him in last year, not to my knowledge that he had already played 3 years, I was thinking, hey, junior college, okay, 2 years. I didn't know about the 3 years. So basically last year, the get off the ground year for us. Now this year, we're thinking he's gonna be in playing that number 1 spot for us. And, a lot of coaches that we played up against, like, hey, man, where's that guy? Where's that guy you had at that number 1 spot last year? I was like, man, he over there coaching for me. but it's been a trying time trying to bring a program back up the ground. I had expectations to get that thing off. We finished up winning championship, and then got discontinued. I wanted to bring that program back up. back with championship hopes, but it's been a long and tiring process trying to bring a program back fresh off the ground. But we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. I got faith. I have faith that we're gonna get there and we're gonna do it.
Let me ask you this, Coach, because as always, when I have the ear of the listeners and I'm having a coach on, I always try to put it out there. If you need help, now's the time where we can get those people, because you never know, because our realm goes beyond Southern. We have so many people around the Baton Rouge capital city area that you never know who may be in a given mood. What resources does this tennis program need that you feel can help elevate this and maybe take some of that stress off you?
Well, we've always in need for resources. One of the things we got coming up, one of the biggest projects that we have coming up now, we have the new tennis court facility. Hopefully next week. We're gonna cross our fingers and say hopefully next week that project will finally begin. The contractors have moved everything on campus, and they're just waiting. They're ready to go. So I think we had a couple of things that we had to finally get finished up on campus for them to be able to start. So every day I peep my head outside that back of the mini dome, and I see a little movement, but not as much as I want. But I think we're gonna end up with a great facility back there. The course is being moved back there between the baseball and softball field. So definitely waiting on that, and not to mention we got the Jagathon coming up next month, Mr. Perry.
Mm-hmm.
We got that Jagathon March 28th, I believe that date is. So definitely, we're asking all the listeners to please donate to the Jagathon March 28th. That'll help. That helps all the athletic programs with athletic needs. When you say needs, it comes to scholarships, travel. Everybody goes knocking on that door every now and then to A.D. Banks' office or Miss Sturgis Grant's office and say, hey, we need a little something here, we need a little something there. So definitely, we're asking everybody listening today, and March 28th, put that on your calendar, and you can start giving now for that Jagathon. We're asking y'all to please donate to this worthy cause.
Let me ask you this, because I've had this conversation with pretty much most of the coaches on campus and just, around college sports, college athletics. But when it comes to tennis, we talk about football, we talk about baseball and basketball when we look at NIL and the transfer portal. Mm-hmm. How has those two affected tennis and the collegiate world of tennis when you look at NIL along with the transfer portal?
It really hadn't affected me in tennis. It hadn't affected tennis as much. It hasn't affected tennis as much. Every now and then you got a player that gets a small NIL here and there. So it's always great for them to get a little piece of the pie when it comes to NIL. Transfer portal, I look in there every now and then. I advise student athletes every blue moon they might need to take a look at that portal as well. I just don't go out there and get players from that portal, because once you get that player, you're not knowing what's the thing about them, and you might be stuck with them. And so but I have gotten one. I got current on the roster. We have two players on the women's side that came out of the portal. One's that's graduating. That's supposed to be graduating this semester. I say supposed to be. I don't know if she turned in that graduation.
Better get on it.
Application.
You know how it is, Southern. Hey, so do not wait with the last minute with Southern.
No, sir. I ask him, and something comes up. But we got two players out of the transfer portal on the women's program right now. Luckily, they're on track, intelligent young ladies. So not fearing that they will be able to graduate on time and be able to bring somebody else on after that. But I try not to live in that portal. I like the freshman athletes still. But we are going over at the JCs. trying to get that definitely on that men's side. We've been getting some JCs there, and I say that, but I brought in one JC on the women's side, and she's playing some excellent tennis right now. The 2 matches that we've had on the women's side, she's very passionate. I think before the year out, she might move up a little bit more in the lineup and push a couple of those young ladies down in the lineup, which will be even better.
When is the first match for everybody to come out and be prepared to cheer you guys on?
The women have a home match. When I say home this year, we were not playing on campus this year. We're playing at I think next week we have Southeastern here Thursday on the women's side. It'll be at City Park, Breck City Park, the Capital One Tennis Center, Breck Capital One City Tennis Center over on City Park by the golf course. We'll play Southeastern at 2:00, and then we don't have that many home matches. I guess I foresaw that the facility wasn't going to be ready this year during the season, but so we're kind of limited with matches at home this year. But fortunately, we found a home with Breck, with the Breck Tennis Centers this season, and looking like we'll be back on the yard next year. So we're going to try to bring as many programs as we can to showcase that new facility, and hopefully we'll have it state-of-the-art facility with the online play and everything. So we're looking forward to bringing that new facility on campus. And but next Thursday, 2:00, Southeastern over at City Park Tennis Center, the Capital One City Tennis Center.
I'm going to miss that backdrop of A.W. Mumford Stadium right behind you guys, being able to walk by and watch.
That was beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah, beautiful, man. But now you got the backdrop of the softball and the baseball field. So let's make sure they don't hit a lot of home runs into your court.
Hey, those young ladies, they hit some home runs. So hey, we might be ducking and dodging a little bit when we're out there practicing or having a match.
That is the voice of Southern University men and women's tennis head coach, my man, Championship Conyers, as A.D. Roman Banks like to call him, Coach Jeffrey Conyers. Thank you, Coach, for coming on this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Perry, and thank you for having me on the show. Always a pleasure to be here with you and the Jaguar Journal. And let's go, Jags. Hey, I want to see everybody out today that's listening live at the basketball game. We got our former head coach, Coach Sandy Pugh, coming in at 2:30 today.
Yeah, we got to send on
100 on her today, though, Mr. Perry.
We got to send her back with that
Is doing a wonderful job, and Coach Johnson is doing a wonderful job. I want to see y'all Jags out to support the basketball team today.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Y'all have a good one now.
Yes, sir. All right, let's get ready to take a break. When we come back on the side, we're going to be joined by Dr. Kedric Taylor, Director of Bands at Southern University. We'll talk about all of the big things. Southern's band has made national news over the past 2 weeks, and nobody better than have that conversation than the head guy leading the charge, Dr. Taylor himself. So let's get ready to take a break. We come back on this side. We'll keep it going. Stay tuned. More to Jaguar Journal.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well, over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is incredible. As a fifth-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. And the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
Best, and they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities, finding a way to win the games late with fourth-quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
He really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it is come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast, and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. He's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. 1st down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks. 1st down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the 1st down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across midfield. Ricks has a receiver downfield. It's caught for a touchdown. Territory. Ricks fakes the pitch. Gets inside the 15.
He's in the type of young men that represent his philosophy in life and in football.
Ricks in a shotgun. He's going to run it out to the 10. And 2nd and 11 after the holding penalty. Sidearm toss.
Good morning. We are back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Glad to have you guys listening. We in with us 7:34 a.m. here Central Standard Time. Here, good morning to all our 107.3 FM listeners across the Baton Rouge capital city area. Everybody else watching across YouTube, Facebook, and every other place on social media. We also have our Apple Podcasts, and we are on Spotify. So be sure to go follow the Jaguar Journal on all of those. And as we continue to keep this show going, I want to thank Jeffrey Conyers, the head men's and women's tennis coach over at Southern University. But as we keep it going, been all in the national news for the past 2 weeks, all over the place, from the West Coast all the way down to the bottom for the Super Bowl. The Southern University Marching Band, famously known as the Human Jukebox, has been one, taking the Southern University brand and putting it out on the stage for the world to see. And nobody did better than to talk about who leads the charge for the Southern University Marching Band than the director himself, the head guy, Dr. Kedric Taylor. Good morning, Dr. Taylor.
Good morning. How you doing, Perry?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing awesome. I can't complain. Just out and about recruiting, so I'm in San Antonio going to recruit some amazing new freshman Jaguars.
The work does not stop, people. He go from the big spotlight to behind the scenes, showing you how it even works to even get the students. And Dr. Taylor, let's start first. Taking the band out to Los Angeles, California for the Honda Battle of the Bands. It was the first time they had this event out on the West Coast, and I'm not going to lie, I was a little iffy on what the turnout was going to be, but nonetheless, 60,000 people packed into SoFi Stadium to watch HBCU bands from around the country. We're talking about North Carolina A&T, Hampton, Alabama A&M, Alabama State, the University of Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and, of course, our beloved Southern University Marching Band, all on full display for the West Coast to see. And when I looked into the stands, it just wasn't black folks. It was Hispanics. It was whites. It was Asian. It was so diverse of an audience. And what I loved about it, everybody was genuinely happy because, we typically do the Battle of the Bands in the South. Everybody has their favorites. Going out there, aside from the supporters of the prospective schools that represented in this Battle of the Bands, it was refreshing, Dr. Taylor, to just see the faces of people who were being exposed to our culture for the first time and just sitting there genuinely enjoying it. And for you, as the head director, taking the band out there, man, and being able to recruit and show the West Coast what our little Louisiana flavor is all about, how was that experience for you and the band?
Well, man, you summed it up. I think when you think about HBCU bands, you think about the South. Most of the HBCUs are, around the South. And to bring that type of atmosphere to the West Coast, where they're used to different things, but not quite a HBCU band, they've seen all kind of different celebrities. They've seen concerts. They've seen it all. But when you factor in what a HBCU band consists of and just the intel of all of it, like it just was different. and for every listener, they were amazed by the, thing that our people take for granted.
Yep.
Even the Hamptons, like, they went out there and put on a good show. Everybody went out there and put on a good show. And then by the time it got to Southern University, it was like, we ain't never seen nothing like this. But that's how every audience is. It's almost like you cannot put Southern University band first, or you gonna mess your show up.
Yeah.
Even if it's the Super Bowl, I'm just saying.
A hard act to follow. And you look at the fact you had Cedric the Entertainer come out with Southern's band and introduce him. And not only that, you were able to make big network television as you were on the Jennifer Hudson show, getting the opportunity to talk about Southern University, its brand, the band, and then you broke the big news about performing in the pregame of the Super Bowl. But just being able to get on the network and once again be an ambassador that you are for Southern University and putting that brand out there far and wide in televisions all across the nation.
Man, it's an honor. This Southern University Human Jukebox band that we talk about so often, I think people take it for granted, especially in our area. That band has a brand like none other. The legacy, it speaks volume. But to continue, and I got to give my staff a shout out, to continue to raise the bar. People speak of the Dr. Greg's era. They speak of the, different eras, but to be able to still be innovative and creative in today with social media, those guys do a great job, and they are called upon way more now than ever. So it speaks volume to what they do and what we're doing as a cohesive unit. The students, they have to learn all of this stuff, and they have to go out and perfect it, because if Southern not perfect, you're going to see people saying all kind of crazy stuff. So to be even relevant, but to still be on top. Even networks see it. The Jennifer Hudson show just one of many things that are brewing for the Southern University band. So when you talk about people noticing, it's the power of the brand. I can't take credit for it. I could just sit here and say that band has a brand like none other, and it's our job to protect that brand.
It definitely is. And I looked on her YouTube channel. That show with you guys along with Usher is one of the most viewed shows she has when you look at it and compare it and contrast to the other shows that she produced out. So it just shows people are interested, and it brought the excitement. I can only imagine the faces of the room when that drum major kicked out, and they was like, oh, what's this? Well, I don't even know what we about to get ourselves into. And then you and the band come out and give them that Louisiana flavor, a little spice from the South, and then getting that opportunity to showcase that to the nation. And as I said before, you broke the news for the nation to understand and to hear loud and clear that this band is going to be performing in the pregame show at the Super Bowl, the most watched event in America. But before that, then you get a message from Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco, of course, who hosts the show Nightcap, a big platform on YouTube. And guess what? They wanted the Southern University Marching Band to be a part of their show. So before we even get to the Super Bowl festivities, you get another great opportunity to take the brand from L.A., Jennifer Hudson, now to a huge platform on Nightcap with Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco, man. And it looked like they was having a good time to every note. Ocho, I watched the show, and even an hour later, he was up there still singing I'm So Glad. So it just showed the impact of the band, and for you guys, that experience for another huge platform to be on.
Man, it was humbling. I don't think it all set in once we were doing it, because, I always want the students to be at their best and perform at a high level, So the Jennifer Hudson show, man, when we went in for a sound check, and they was like, so what you guys are going to do? Man, we put that together in maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and their producer over the show was like, man, this is going to go crazy. They were like, they never seen nothing like it. So to that point, when we did perform it, she was blown away. Like, she didn't know. She was like speechless. And, so after the show, she was just like, wow. and she really wanted to perform with the band. And, I mean, again, it speaks volumes to our students. They always rise to the occasion, no matter what. And so, I told them, what you put in is what you get out. It creates more opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So before we can leave the Jennifer Hudson show good, we get the, call about Ocho Cinco. They reach out. Everybody reach out to us. It's not like we're trying to tear these people's door down to say, give us opportunity, but they see the importance of incorporating what we do with what they're doing. Again, I always tell the students, if you invest in yourself, others will find ways to invest in you. So it just speaks to what we're doing and what we're teaching our students to prepare them for adult life, as Dr. Griggs would say. When they go to be adults, like what they're learning here at Southern University is, hey, man, when you work hard and you work for a common goal and you continue to go and reach that goal by the work that you put in, and that's what we're doing, man. We working countless hours. People don't see it, but we always say, may the works I do speak for me and not me speak for the works that I do.
I love that.
That's what we want to continue to do, and the sky's the limit of what's come for this band.
Let's do this, Dr. Taylor. Can you hold on through a break for me?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get ready to take a break. You're listening to the voice of Dr. Kedric Taylor, the director of bands at Southern University. As we come back on the other side, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl experience and how big it was for that brand of the human jukebox to be right there amongst the biggest on national television. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be back more to Jaguar Journal.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
Talk about offense, we talk about Southern, and it begins with their passing game.
Tom, beyond potent, we're talking about high octane, we're talking about fast break, we're talking about 41 points a game, some 500-plus yards since Terrence Levy has taken over this offense.
Because that young man doesn't drop any ball.
With the legacy that you started here, you got to feel happy to see it continue on with Doug Williams.
Ball now back at the 22-yard line. Levy, no pressure at all. Touchdown, Ingram. The Bayou Classic. Levy on a first and goal play. Throws a touchdown. Grambling comes with a blitz. Levy steps in the pocket. And his pass is caught. One-handed grab.
Sort of in the middle of the road of the SWAC, but immediately they jump on the Jackson State defense. And here's Levy rolling out. And the pass is caught. Ball is at the 31-yard line. Again throwing the football downfield. Oh, and his receiver Hayes makes the catch. See you later. Touchdown, Southern. If you're going to get, I got some free tickets. Look out for it, brother. Going downfield. Oh, and what a play by Southern.
Score. He's played a lot tougher ever since. And this is a free play for Southern.
2nd and 15.
It's a free play.
Levy completes his pass.
It's a free play.
Oh, and he's still up.
It's a free play.
Hayes is going to continue running inside the 10, the 5. Unbelievable Michael Hayes. 3rd down. 23 for a first. Levy over the middle. Nice pass that time. 2nd and 20. Levy doesn't have to get it all, but he's going to have to pick up some yards. Here he is throwing. Nice catch made.
Receiver, Michael Hayes. There he goes.
Hayes makes the catch. Hayes still on his feet. Hayes looking for blocking. Hayes trying to find a hole. Hayes is still on his feet. He alley-oops. He's inside the 15 and drawn out a foul.
Touchdown.
Backfield. Plenty of time for Levy across the middle. Has his man at the 15. I don't know if you want to break the spirit of Terrence Levy or not. Here he wings one wide open down the middle and a one-handed grab made.
The way. 3rd down in 4. And here's Lewis off the catch. Lewis still on his feet. And Lewis is streaking down the sideline. Touchdown. So they move back.
All right, we're back. It is the Jaguar Journal, 7:48 a.m. here Central Standard Time in Baton Rouge. Good morning to everybody on listening 107.3 FM around the capital city area. Glad to have you guys and everybody watching on our YouTube and Facebook. Go hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. It is free. Just love and support, man. That's all I'm asking. Ain't too much. I don't need your social security number, your birth certificate. I don't need to know how many kids in the household. I don't need none of that. Just hit that subscribe button, get a notification every time we go live, and as well as everybody on our Facebook Live watching across the various groups on Facebook and pages. Good morning to you guys. Be sure to hit that like and follow button on that, and you can follow us, of course, across Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on X, formerly known as Twitter, as well as Instagram. So good morning to everybody that is out there. Special guest here on the studio. He has been a hard-working man and still hard-working. He go from the biggest stage to now recruiting, and that's Dr. Kedric Taylor, Director of Bands at Southern University. Good morning, Dr. Taylor.
Good morning, Perry. How you doing?
Doing good, man. And listen, we had an opportunity to talk about the West Coast. We talked about Jennifer Hudson. We talked about Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco with their show Nightcap. All of these different places with these huge platforms and huge audience where people are getting a chance to see who is Southern University. And then no bigger platform for any sports fan here in America than the Super Bowl between your Philadelphia Eagles and my Kansas City Chiefs. I got to say publicly, congratulations, brother, on the W. It was a hell of a victory, a butt whooping to say the least, but the Eagles got it done. And not only that, you were able to be up close and personal with your favorite team. And not only that, you were up close and personal with your band to be able to perform. And, man, we're talking about the Super Bowl pregame show. You got to talk to me about and to the people what that experience was like, just working along with these professionals. This is as high as it goes when you talk about professionals in the entertainment world at Southern University as the professional that you are were right there working along these guys.
Man, I can't put it into words. You got people that capture the moment. You got people that live in the moment. I definitely was living in that moment. I think we were preparing for this for a month, and it was calls daily. It was emails, like we were texting. So it was a lot of preparation. But they always say proper planning prevents peaceful performances. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you that those students did an amazing job. They were out of class that entire week leading up to the Super Bowl because they had to go and rehearse with the different networks, the different people that was performing. They had to make sure everything gelled together and everything was, sound checks was good. Like, get them to get to that level of professionalism, like you said, don't get no bigger than that. And man, they just, it's almost like they were there before they belonged. They weren't acting out of character. They act like they have been on the big stage, So, I can't say enough how I appreciate the staff and the students for representing not only Southern University, but the state of Louisiana. You'll be amazed of all the people that I talked to who recommended the band in the first place. It's like, we had to have you guys. It ain't like, again, we did want to perform for the Super Bowl, but they called me, and it was the week before Bayou Classic. I'll never forget it. And they was like, look, would you want the opportunity to perform for the Super Bowl? And I was like, of course. So I thought, we were going to do halftime because, the way he was talking, he was like, well, they don't want to do another band for halftime because I guess the show that they want to do, it doesn't require, a band. But what we will do is let you guys headline the pregame. And I'm like, headline? He's like, yeah, you're going to be on TV. It's not going to be where you just perform for the fans and, we don't put you on TV. We're going to actually give you all, at first it was 7 minutes. And I was like, wow, 7 minutes of just a jukebox on TV. And he's like, yeah, we want to get the ratings up. And the ratings went up 10%. I don't know if you saw the ratings, but last year it was at a certain number, but it went up 10% this year for the pregame.
And you know what I thought was so great about it we actually knew who the band was performing. Nobody had to guess because you actually had the uniforms on. You know, in the past, we've seen bands, we don't know who that is performing up there. It's just, you know, I don't know who that is, but we knew exactly who Southern University was. It was great marketing and branding, and especially to be able to have the uniforms.
Man, it's so humbling, I tell you. Just to put that S on your chest and the whole world see it. I'm in San Antonio, and people of different origins and different different backgrounds, man, different cultures, running up asking to take a picture because they saw our band on the on TV from the Super Bowl. Like, it's just like, this has put Southern University in a different bracket, you know, from what people thought or even imagined. Like, man, the band has done so many things, and it's making people want to come to Southern University for that reason. Like, they were like, yeah, we were thinking about going to places like UT and North Texas, but we definitely want to consider you guys now. Like, just from being on television, that giving other students an opportunity to say, hey, I can do that as well. And that's what it continues to do. It's like a plug-in thing, man. You know, one student go and you plug them in an area, and then they start telling other students about it, and now all of a sudden that area is a area where you get a lot of students to come to Southern University. That's what happened in California. A lot of students come to Southern University of California based on, you know, them talking about how cheap the tuition is, and then when they get to the campus, they see how the food is good and the atmosphere. It's like something that you never experienced. And I always tell people, like, Southern University is a campus within itself. It's a city by itself, because when you go on campus, it's not like anywhere you've ever been. And, you know, that's one of the things that we got to continue to push to our Louisiana students, that you don't realize what you have until you go somewhere else and see that it's not what it's all cracked up to be going out of state. When you can come to Southern University and not only get a great education, because we have a lot of great departments, but, man, you can come to Southern University and grow as an individual. And so these kids being at the Super Bowl has allowed other students to see what we had to offer at Southern University.
And you know this, Dr. Taylor, I'm going to say this publicly, because this band, and I always say, athletics is the front door to every institution, and we see that, right? But the same way you saw Nick Saban at Alabama with football, it generated that attraction and attention to the school. Southern's band generates that attraction to the school, whether you're going to be in the band or whether you just want to be near and close to the band whenever they perform. There's no reason for me that the school administrators and everybody should not see and be proud and excited of the value that brand brings to the campus of Southern University here in Baton Rouge. And because of that hard work of the students, I believe every student in that band deserves a full ride scholarship because of the hard work that they put in, balancing class, balancing the rigorous work that you guys have to go through, and as long with the travel. If the administrators out there listening today, every student in that band, in my opinion, this is Perry White, deserves a full ride scholarship for just to show the acknowledgement of the hard work that they have put in to make sure that the brand of Southern University continues to be seen out there far and wide across the world. And what it does is, when kids see those experiences, because look, long time ago when they told me about band, you know the reason a lot of kids got in the band? Because it was, hey, we go on trips, we go here, we go there, we go everywhere. Kids like to be a part of things. As you grow older, you want to be a part of things. This band has shown folks you can be a part of things. It goes beyond just performing at a game, at a pep rally, or an event. You can be a part of things, and not only being a part, the networking and the opportunities that present itself, even being a professional musician or whatever the case may be, because a lot of these students ultimately will go into professions of people who were those professionals at these events. So that is the most beautiful thing. So if the administrators out there listening, this band, every student deserves a full ride scholarship. And that's Perry White. I approve this message because of the hard work that they've been putting in, man, and that is tough to balance that. And for you, Dr. Taylor, congratulations to you and the staff, man, for everything that you guys have been accomplishing. And it does not stop, because it is Mardi Gras season, so the band definitely continue to go on. If you guys want to watch this band live, and I'll talk about those Mardi Gras parades a little bit later in the show. But Dr. Taylor, man, I want to say thank you for coming on this morning, man, and I appreciate you and all the hard work that you and the staff and those students have been putting in the name of Southern University.
Man, I appreciate you having me on, and continue to push and to put Southern in the light like never before, man. I saw you at the basketball game. You was on the highlight shaking your pom-pom, man. You definitely a supporter of the Jaguar Nation, and you only want the best for all the programs just like myself. So, man, continue to push the narrative that, you too can be the next star at Southern University. So, again, man, we appreciate you as well.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor, man. I need that. What news? I didn't even see it. Where I was at?
You was on WAFB.
I'm going to have to go back and look.
I just happened to see the highlights, but you was on the sideline. Looked like you was antagonizing Texas Southern because the Jaguars took the victory. So I hope we can move in first place now.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up because I'm about to get over to basketball here in a second. Dr. Taylor, appreciate you coming on. That is the voice of Dr. Kedric Taylor, Director of Bands at Southern University, man. Appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, let's get ready to take a break. We'll come back on the other side. We'll keep it going, talk some baseball as well as basketball. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be back more to Jaguar Journal.
Quarter with Jackson State leading 10-3. Ball's at the 31-yard line. Again, throwing the football downfield. Oh, and his receiver, Hayes makes the catch. See you later. Touchdown, Southern. And every time you think Southern struggles, they come back, they make a play. They've done it all year long. Kick is up. Kick is good. Second down and a yard to go. Again, they give it to Lewis. Lewis finds room. Lewis still on his feet. Lewis making a move to the outside. He's inside the 25, the 10, the 5. What a run by Ryan Lewis. 69-yard run for Ryan Lewis. And how about this? Kicks up. Kicks good. Halftime, George Johnson along with Charles Mann. Southern trailed in this football game 10-7. Then they reel off 14 straight points, and they do it with the big plays.
And that's something that we didn't think would happen, at least from Southern's perspective. They've been able to methodically go down the field on people and win ball games, not the big plays. You saw the big play by Ryan Lewis running 69 yards, the nice throw by Terrence Levy. This is something that I don't think Jackson State thought they would see in Southern either, and they go into halftime down by 7 points.
Jackson State came in the best defense out of the SWAC. And if you take a look at the highlights, you will see that this club, and I'm talking about Southern, was really able to capitalize on a couple of miscues, and the big plays are the result of it.
And this is Daniel Guy with a nice stiff arm to Bradley Pittman there. And he runs that ball 36 yards inside for a touchdown and makes it 7-3. And then Terrence Levy, quarterbacking, throws a big bomb to Michael Hayes, who gets by Rashard Anderson and waltzes into the end zone for a 69-yard reception. And then the big run by Ryan Lewis, a scat back for Southern, races 69 yards for the score. And that's where it stands right now, 17-10. Southern is on top.
Passing leaders in the conference, Lionel Hayes from Grambling, your top passer. Washington second, but he's intercepted right there. This time the inside handoff,
and the ball was dropped, and Tommy Head.
Here's Taylor in the pocket, looking downfield and looking for Leroy Fields, and this one looks intercepted, and it is.
He's played a lot tougher ever since. And this is a free play for Southern.
2nd and 15.
It's a free play.
Levy completes his
pass.
It's a free play. Oh, and he's still up.
It's a free play.
Hayes is going to continue running inside the 10, the 5. Unbelievable Michael Hayes. Hayes now with 187 yards receiving. 169-yard touchdown, 181-yard touchdown.
And Southern's came up with all the big plays.
They lead by 14. And that one is intercepted by Darden. Darden looking for some room, and Guyan will finally drag him down. But we start the fourth right after this. Second down in 20 after the penalty.
You've got a man wide open.
Going into the corner. Touchdown! Reynolds attempting the point after. It's good. A 32-yard field goal. Kick is up. Kick is good.
This is a great football game.
We knew it would be, though. Tori Thigpen got us out of our seats.
And this is the...
All right, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody as we get things rocking and rolling. We're at the top of the hour, 8:03 a.m. to be exact. Here Central Standard Time. Good morning, everybody listening across the Baton Rouge, capital city area on 107.3 FM. Glad to have you guys and everybody watching on our YouTube and Facebook Live. Good morning. As we continue to keep things going, I want to thank Coach Jeffrey Conyers coming on, talking to us about the men and women's tennis program, getting that men's program up and running. And, of course, Dr. Kedric Taylor, Director of Bands at Southern University. All of the big things the band has been doing over the past 2 weeks. And I'm saying it loud again. But out there, if the administrators are listening, every one of those students in that band deserves a full ride scholarship for the work that they put in from the Super Bowl to the West Coast, putting the brand of Southern University out there nationwide, from Jennifer Hudson to Nightcap with Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco, man, in the past 2 weeks, working harder than ever to make sure that Southern University brand continues to find households and the millions of televisions and radios and whatever else across the nation. And somebody else right now with the brand out on the road and working hard for Southern University is Southern University head baseball coach, my man, Coach Chris Crenshaw. Good morning, Coach. Coach Crenshaw, we got you?
Yeah, I'm here. You can't hear me?
Yo, there you go. I hear you now. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, man. You are out. Listen, the Jaguars have started the season. First pitch was yesterday to get the season underway in the 2025 Cactus Jack HBCU Classic. And you're looking at teams Grambling, Southern, Jackson State, Prairie View, Alabama A&M, and Texas Southern. And you guys start the season off with a victory yesterday, starting the season 1-0, getting that victory over Texas Southern last night in Game 3 of the Classic at 7 o'clock. Coach, as we are underway, talk to us about getting that 2025 season going and coming out with the victory over a SWAC Western Division rival in Texas Southern.
I feel good this morning. We won it. Renard Grace came out and gave us a good start. Peyton Huff was good in the middle. Genesis closed it out offensively. We scored early. We came back. We tied it up, added on, and then we added a little bit more.
Grambling and Jackson State played yesterday at 11 a.m. in Game 1. Alabama A&M and Prairie View played in Game 2 at 3 o'clock. Now, today in Game 1 is day 2 of this Classic. Game 1 is going to be between Alabama A&M and Jackson State. Then they saved a great midday game at 3 o'clock for Game 2. We know it all too well here in Louisiana. Southern versus Grambling State will be that Game 2 game at 3 o'clock. And then in the Game 3 spot at 7 o'clock tonight, a big one over in Texas as two rivals, Prairie View and Texas Southern. Looking at Grambling as you headed into game 2 of this tournament, I'm not sure how does one then prepare for the next day of when you're going out to evaluate the team that you're going against. But what do you see against Grambling that you saw success yesterday, and what do you see out of Grambling to continue that success?
We just got to come out with the same energy, the same intensity, and the same focus. Like I said earlier, I think the only team that could beat us is us. We take care of the things that we do well and play to the standard and how we feel about we should play. It don't matter who it is.
Give us some players, and I always like to name drop those guys who you've seen out of day one, and then just the anticipation of having a big season for you guys this year.
Cardell Thibodeau was good yesterday. He won't be available today. He has to go home for a funeral. He was 4 for 5 yesterday. It's one of our transfers. Renard Gray, Dylan Jones hit a big home run to give us the lead. Who else played good last night? Jalen Mack had some big at bats. Rashard Grace was good behind the plate in his first start this year. So we had a couple guys that did well.
You know, as you look at this team, what is the message to them this year to start this 2025 season as you're just getting it going and we rolling all the way through May? What's the message to this team this year as this season gets going?
All for one, all for Southern. That's what I've been talking about since day one. It's going to take all of us, and all of us got to do it for Southern.
That's it. And then we're looking at day 3, which will be tomorrow on Sunday, of the games that are going to take place. Game 1 at 11 a.m. is going to be Grambling versus Alabama A&M. Game 2 at 3 o'clock is going to be Jackson State versus Texas Southern. And then Game 3 at 7 o'clock is going to be Prairie View and Southern University. You know, I never want to look ahead too far, but as you guys wrap this up, you'll be back in Baton Rouge next week on Tuesday, taking on LSU over at Alex Box Stadium. So then that gives the hometown fans an opportunity to come out and see you guys right in town taking on LSU, a team in which you went on the road last year and defeated at Alex Box Stadium.
Yeah, it's a 2 p.m. start. I think my social media staff going to pass out work excuses for guys to get off work. They show up at 2 o'clock Tuesday. So hopefully we can bring out some Southern Knights and we play well.
You know, looking at this program and as you guys get the season started, being able to take on in-town LSU and then first showcase your talent over at the HBCU Cactus Jack Classic, how has that Classic impacted you guys when it comes to recruiting and the opportunity for these college students to play in a big league stadium?
I think that's a big deal, being able to play in the big league stadium. I had a kid last night that came up and said, "Thank you for giving me the opportunity." And I never thought about it, but he said this might be my only chance to play in a big league stadium. I'm gonna take advantage of it. Small stuff like that, you really don't think about because you're in it. But to have a player come to you and thank you for that. It was a little different when he hit me with it last night. And he played good last night. Taj Bates, senior transfer we got from St. Croix.
Oh, man, I know this Louisiana food, he's probably loving that as well, huh?
Yeah, he is.
Got to watch that weight, Coach. Get him in that strength and conditioning before he pack it on. It happens to the best of us. Looking at your staff, man, because you don't do this on your own. Talk about your staff and what you have around you to help develop these young men.
I got TJ Perkins. He's been with me since I took over. He was here with me, with Coach Jackson.
That's the big buff man.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that for the people out there listening. The big buff dude.
Yeah, Coach Perkins, he did a good job with them with strength and conditioning and working with the outfielders. I got Brock Bond. This is his first year with us. He works with the infielders. I got Justin Wiley. He's my PA. He plays shortstop for me here. He helps Coach Brock with the infielders. And then I have an undergraduate assistant, Justin Toussaint. He played here. His dad played here. So he knows what it's about. And then a social media person, her name is Micah. And I got like 4 or 5 student managers that really do the grunt part of helping us set up for practice, making sure the jerseys are washed and clean and put out, the laundry loops is washed and put out. So I got about 8 people around me, a couple students that help me. They help us out a lot.
Sound like it's the help that's much needed for a program with a rich tradition and history of winning championships and sending guys to the next level. You look for each and every year that you can get more resources to put back into a program to help that program elevate, and to hear that you at least have what you have now. Trust me, we always know there's plenty more that can help around the program, but at least, you know, we've seen before, you're not having to put all this weight on your shoulders to have to make sure you do it on your own. You have a a good supporting cast of people that are helping making sure that this baseball thing continues to rock and roll. As you guys take on Grambling today and look forward to the game tomorrow in Game 3 and wrap up the Cactus Jack HBCU Classic, then you come home to LSU. What do you say to the fans out here at Baton Rouge to come out and support you guys against LSU on Tuesday?
Well, we got to take Sunday and Sunday before we get to Tuesday. So hopefully we come out and play hard today, play hard on Sunday, and then we got some confidence going into Tuesday. And you know how it goes. When you get some confidence going, it can carry you a long way.
Yeah, it definitely can. And, you know, for me, I was over there last year. You guys was hitting that ball all over. All I heard was bing, bing, home runs, deep shots. You guys really went over and put on a hidden clinic last year at Alex Box Stadium, brought some excitement to the Jaguar Nation and the baseball team through those midweek games. And this will be the first midweek game of the season. I'll be there Tuesday supporting you guys. Might be a little chilly as we get a cold front come through, but nonetheless, man, I'll be there supporting you guys. Wish I could be over there supporting you guys this weekend. Not able to, but for anybody that's out in the Houston area, get out to the HBCU Cactus Jack Classic. Go out and check out some great baseball as Southern University baseball is taking on Grambling today. Should I say anything else? You got to be there to support the Jags and make sure that they bring home the victory as they close things out tomorrow in day 3 of this big classic. Coach, man, I appreciate you coming on this morning, man. Any shout-outs, anything you want to give out there this morning?
Yeah, and to those student managers that didn't make the trip, I really appreciate y'all. It's a whole village of us. So I thank y'all for helping me and my staff. That's Coach Crenshaw. He is the head baseball coach over at Southern University. Listen, how often does Coach Kedric give you problems? I'm 38, man. I met him when I was 17, so y'all do the math.
Hey, I definitely understand. Hey, Coach, man, appreciate you coming on this morning, man. Good luck to you guys against Grambling today. Bring home that dub today and tomorrow. Let's start the season off 3-0, man. Good luck to you guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, that's the voice of Coach Chris Crenshaw, the head baseball coach at Southern University. Let's take a break. We come back on the other side. Let's get into some basketball as things are heating up around the SWAC, and I'll give you the news just after this. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be back.
Quincy Richard is the quarterback. And, Don, this is a man who's really changed his game from last season, and he's a graduate student as well.
Yes, he has, Bob. Quincy Richard has matured into the unquestioned leader of this Southern University offensive attack. 10 wins this season, and he set school marks for passing yards and touchdown passes. And Bobby's had a lot of help. Only 5 sacks on the season.
He earned his undergraduate degree back in August. He's taking some master's classes, and he wants to be a lawyer.
Here's Richard looking in the end zone. Has a man there. Touchdown, Southern University.
Play clock down to 3. Richard gets it off over the middle. Touchdown.
Holmes goes in motion and comes set on a 1st and 10. Richard completes it. That's Ard. Ard down the sideline. He could go. And finally pushed out of bounds. Richard's run for 10 touchdowns this season. He's going to keep it. Richard goes in. Make it 11 for Quincy Richard. Richard wide open. Touchdown, Chris Davis. Oh, does he love playing football even more now?
That in the flag against Grambling, holding on the kickoff.
Richard looking deep, and it's a touchdown.
but only 3 times did he go down. Twice he ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. It goes down as a sack.
2nd and 8. The deep ball, and that's our man, Chris Davis, for the touchdown. Time for today's State Farm Players of the Game. And from Southern University, the quarterback, number 15, Quincy Richard, 34 of 42, 552 yards, 5 touchdown passes.
Quincy, on behalf of State Farm Insurance Companies, I want to present you with a trophy for the most outstanding player today. Congratulations.
All right, we're back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. Glad to have you guys with us as we continue to keep things rocking and rolling this morning. Hey, want to say thank you to Coach Chris Crenshaw, the head baseball coach at Southern University, joining me this morning as he and his team out competing. Start the season 1-0 yesterday. Get a victory over Texas Southern last night in Game 3 of the Cactus Jack HBCU Classic over in Houston, Texas. Shout out to them as they'll be taking on Grambling today at 3 o'clock. But not only that, we got basketball going on right here in Baton Rouge this weekend. And we had Dr. Taylor on. He said, I made the WBRZ news. Hey, I was on one Thursday for the women's game. I want to know where you guys were. I'm not going to get started on you because y'all know I'll get on you. We're talking about the biggest game in the SWAC thus far this season. In Baton Rouge, where was y'all at? Shout out to my man Craig. Craig was there. He said I had to shout him out because look, Craig, I apologize. I didn't get it. It went over my head the week before when Craig and I was sitting there cheering against Jackson State and Southern got that victory in overtime. Look, hey, we was giving the refs hell as Coach Kevin Johnson gave us the duty. He said, this is your duty. Give them hell, but don't get a tick. So I made sure Craig and I was checking with the refs. Hey, how far can we go with it? The refs said we was good. But Thursday night, Southern University women took on Texas Southern. Did you know Texas Southern women came into that game 10-0 in conference play? No reason that game should not have been packed. Now, I may talk about the women's side a lot because sometimes you have those games that may not be so competitive. But this was one. And I made sure I was front and center for it. I was enjoying every minute of it, cheering on Southern University and that women's basketball team with Coach Carlos Funches and company. And guess what they did? They upended the Texas Southern Tigers, broke their 10-game winning streak, and gave them their first conference loss on the season. But before that, hit the brakes. Let's go back to last week. Southern University took on Alabama A&M on the road. Guess what? Dawn Thornton taking over Alabama A&M, coming over from the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Coach Funches and Coach Dawn Thornton met a couple years ago in the SWAC championship, in the tournament championship when she was at UAPB. She led UAPB to that first ever tournament championship appearance. Coach Funches said, you know what? This ain't my first rodeo, sister. I do this. And Southern got the victory and that NCAA tournament appearance. This time they meet again. Southern gets the victory, 50-44 over a pretty good Alabama A&M women's basketball team. In this game, Southern women shot 19 of 50 for 38%, 2 of 16 from the three-point line, shooting 12%, and 10 of 13 from the free throw line, shooting 76%. The Jaguars got the victory over Alabama A&M, and then it set up a big matchup, as I told you, Thursday night against Texas Southern. And when you see them, you can understand why they were 10-0 heading into this game. Tough, physical, and they will get into your heads, but it's tough on the bluff. Rough on the bluff, tough on the bluff, whatever the case is. It's hard to walk out of there with a W on the bluff if you're the opposing team. And shout out to the Southern University women's basketball team getting it done and holding it down against a formidable opponent in Texas Southern, who the Jags, might I add, to go back to start the season, were up in the fourth quarter and kind of let the lead squander away. I can talk about the what-ifs, the woulda, coulda, shouldas. Southern ultimately lost that game, but it showed the first time these two teams played how competitive it is between Texas Southern and Southern if you go back and look at the first game on the road, in Houston. This time, Southern gets the victory on Thursday night, 63-53. Southern University women's basketball shoots 22 of 69 for 31%. They were 6 of 22 from the three-point line, which kind of had me a little iffy, seeing the amount of threes jacked up for 27%. But once again, free throws. Hey, Texas Southern on the other end, those free throws almost came through for them. But for Southern, 13 of 20 for shooting for 65%. Texas Southern out-rebounded Southern, 40 rebounds to 35 rebounds. Of those 40 rebounds for Texas Southern, 33 on the defensive side, 7 offensively for Southern, 35 rebounds, 21 offensively, 14 offensively, 21 defensively as the Jaguars, Southern University women's team, gets the victory. Let's look at some other games around on Thursday night. Alcorn State defeated Florida A&M 74-69. Alcorn State women going on the road. They are sneaky. Listen, they're not the best team, but you kind of see this team found themselves, I was going to say snuck into, but they found themselves in the conference championship last year during the tournament, taking on Jackson State. They got hot at the right time. One of those opponents who they beat along their way was Southern University women's basketball last year in the tournament. Alcorn came on the road this year, snuck out of the F.G. Clark Activity Center with a victory. They are sneaky. They're like middle of the pack. Like, you can't never sleep on Alcorn's women's basketball team. They're like right there. They got the victory 74-69 over Florida A&M on the road. How about Mississippi Valley getting the victory 68-57 over Alabama State? Mississippi Valley women's basketball team with a big one there. Jackson State over Bethune-Cookman. Jackson State women with a 6-point victory, 59-53 over Bethune-Cookman. Alabama A&M coach Don Thornton gets a chance to see her old team, the Golden Lions of UAPB, the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. My mom's alma mater, right? Alabama A&M women's basketball team gets the victory 69-55. And then Grambling and Prairie View, 75-54, Grambling women's basketball team over Prairie View and Sandy Pugh. Sandy Pugh has been struggling over at Prairie View. Look up matchups today around the SWAC. Texas Southern on the road taking on Grambling. Texas Southern's going to want to bounce back from that loss here in Baton Rouge on Thursday. So they're going to be, as they say, licking their chops to try to bounce back against Grambling today, which should be a really good ball game between those two ball clubs. Alcorn State and Bethune-Cookman. Alcorn headed over to Daytona to take on Bethune-Cookman on the women's side. Tip-off at 2 o'clock as well as 2 o'clock for Texas Southern and Grambling. Southern and Prairie View today. Sandy Pugh, former head Southern women's basketball coach, will be leading her team back in the Prairie View Panthers, taking on Southern University today. Tip-off at 2:30. For those of you who in the Baton Rouge capital city area want to go watch a really good basketball team, women's basketball team, go check out Southern University women's team. Alabama State on the road today, taking on the Golden Lions of UAPB. That tip-off is going to be at 3 o'clock. Jackson State and Florida A&M tip-off at 3 o'clock. The Tigers are on the road at the Rattlers on the women's side. And Alabama A&M and Mississippi Valley tip-off 4 o'clock as Alabama A&M women take on Mississippi Valley women's team. As I said, Southern and Prairie View should be a good one today. Anytime you have a former coach in Sandy Pugh and you're looking at Coach Carlos Funches, his former boss, he's going to have a tough time. But Southern has seemed to get the best of Prairie View over the past couple years. When you look at these teams, when you look at, has not quite been a rivalry. It's kind of been one-sided. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the SWAC standings on the women's side. And let's start at the bottom and work our way up. Let's see who's at the back of the class to all the way at the front of the class. And at the very bottom, the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, the Golden Lions women's basketball team thus far in conference play are 1-11. They're 3-19 on the season, so really tough up there for them. I know my man Chris Robertson, who is the athletic director up there, is going to probably be evaluating as they're looking at first-year head coach there. Prairie View, Sandy Pugh tied with two other teams at 3-9 in conference play. Alabama State, Mississippi Valley, along with Prairie View, all 3-9 in conference play right now. They're all 8 games out of that first place spot, but don't take them lightly today, Jaguar Nation. Right above those three teams, Bethune-Cookman women's basketball team, 7 games out of first place, sitting there with a record in conference play 4-8. Then right above them, their Florida partner, Florida A&M. FAMU 5-7 in conference play, 6 games out of first place. And then it's that sneaky Alcorn team I'm telling you about. Middle of the pack, and it shows with their record. They're 6-6 in conference play, 5 games out of first place. Cannot take them lightly as they came in and beat Southern just a couple weeks ago. Then you look at Grambling, 7-5 in conference play, 4 games out of first place. Alabama A&M, who Southern was able to go on the road on the women's side and get the victory on last Saturday, sitting there at 9-3, 2 games out of first place. Then you have 2 teams sitting there in second place, all tied up. That is Jackson State and Southern University. Southern got the victory over Jackson State. Now both those teams are tied in second place at 10-2 in conference play, 1 game out of first place. And then, of course, leading the pack, Southern just defeated on Thursday night Texas Southern, sitting there at 11-1 at the top of the pack. Overall on the season, they're 12-11. Southern with a victory today over Prairie View can now be 500 on the season. With a victory today, they'll be 13-13 on the season. They're 12-13 now. We understand how things happen when you go through that tough, rigorous non-conference schedule. But the Jaguars, for me, if you're going to compete for the conference championship, if you're going to compete not only for the regular season title, but for the conference tournament title, I always want to see whoever's going to represent this conference heading into the NCAA tournament with an above 500 record. It just means more. It means more for the conference, and guess what? Sometimes, depending on the strength of schedule, it keeps you out of that first 16, right? I know some teams around the conference may like that first 16 because it gives you an opportunity to may not necessarily start the tournament off against that number 1 seed, but at least you get in and you get a winnable opponent, in which is going to be another 16 seed where you can go in and get that NCAA victory. Grambling did it last year, right? Got their first ever NCAA tournament victory on the men's side. But I'm just using that overall. I always like to see whoever's going to represent this conference. And right now I'm feeling very strong about Southern. Jackson State, Alabama A&M, Southern, and Texas Southern. 4 teams right now that, in my opinion, can get it done. 4 teams that I believe can get it done. And watching Southern's performance against Texas Southern and the fact they've already beaten Alabama A&M and Jackson State, they've beaten every team surrounding them right now. Every team that's surrounding them, they've gotten it done. So big game today with Prairie View. They got to get it done. They'll be 500 on the season. They'll be 11-2 in conference play if can get it done. Sandy Pugh, trust me, is not going to go out without a fight with her and her Prairie View women's basketball team. Tip-off at 2:30. Let's get ready to take a break, ladies and gentlemen. When I come back on the other side, we'll talk on the men's side because some things transpired last week. May be down, but they're not out. We'll just continue the discussion. Stay tuned. More of the Jaguar Journal.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a 5th-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well, over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is incredible. As a 5th-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. And the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
And they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities, finding a way to win the games late with fourth-quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
He really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it has come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. He's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. First down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks. First down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the first down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across midfield. Ricks has a receiver downfield. It's caught for a touchdown. Territory. Ricks fakes the pitch. Gets inside the 15.
He's in the type of young men that represent his philosophy in life and in football.
Ricks in a shotgun. He's going to run it out to the 10. And 2nd and 11 after the holding penalty. Sidearm toss.
All right, good morning, everybody. As we continue the show, it's the Jaguar Journal. I am Perry White, 8:33 a.m. Everybody around the capital city area, 107.3. Good morning, everybody listening on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. Good morning to you guys as well. And anybody out there listening on radio, if you want to keep up with the show, you want to go back and watch anything or hear anything of the show, hey, go subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Jaguar Journal, please. That's all I'm asking. Hit that subscribe button, get that notification. Whether you catch us live, it may have been something you missed or something you want to go back and listen to again. You're able to catch it there. And everybody on our Facebook Live across the various groups and all over the place, good to have you guys with us this morning as well. The Jaguar Journal on Facebook. Hit the like and follow button. All right, let's talk some men's basketball across the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Southern University, of course, going to be the main topic of this conversation. They were on the road last week at the Alabamas, as we like to say, on the road against Alabama A&M to start things off on last Saturday. The Jaguars get the victory 81-68 in a very tough environment up in Alabama A&M with that new arena that they have. 81-68, Jaguars, and that one on the men's side, shoot 26 of 51 for 51%, shooting 11 of 20 from the three-point line for 55%, and 18 of 37 from the free throw line, shooting 48%. Jaguars get the victory. Now, this is where things get a little cloudy and a little muddy, right? That perfect streak came to an end on Monday in Montgomery, Alabama, as Alabama State defeated Southern and handed Southern their first conference loss on the season. 82-81. It couldn't have been even more by 1 point. The Jags did everything they could to battle back late in the second half, but Alabama State just found a way to close it out. 82-81 is that final score. Southern in that game, 26 of 70, shooting for 37%. Tough day from the three-point line, 5 of 22, shooting 22%. And a tough day from the free throw line because those free throws on the back end could have helped Southern as they shot 24 of 33, shooting 72%. They out-rebounded Alabama State, but on the other side, Alabama State shot 29 of 65, shooting 44%. They were 10 of 26 from the three-point line, shooting 38%, knocking down just a couple more. And as well as on the free throw line, 14 of 20, shooting 70%. Southern in this game rebounds, 50 rebounds to Alabama State, 37. Of those 50 for the Jaguars, 22 offensively, 28 defensively. On the other side for the Hornets of Alabama State, 37 rebounds, 10 offensively, 27 defensively. And then let's go back and look at some games around the SWAC on last Saturday as we got things wrapped up. Bethune-Cookman on the road at Prairie View. I told you, Reggie Theus has a really good ball club at Bethune-Cookman on the men's side. You cannot never count them out. That is a really good ball club. I like that basketball team. I really do. I said this last year when they went 3-0 against Southern. Southern got the victory over them this year at home, but they are a tough out. I don't care who you are. But they're one of those teams you never know who's going to show up, though. They've had games where it was like, this can't not be the Bethune-Cookman team that I put hype into. Then there were other games, it was like, this is the Bethune-Cookman team, and this is why I'm putting hype into them. They got a victory by 3 against Prairie View. Jackson State rolled on against in-state opponent Mississippi Valley State, 92-44 on the men's side. How about Alcorn State men getting the victory over UAPB? The Golden Lions fell short, 79-60. Grambling State get the 10-point victory over Alabama State, 77-67. And then Florida A&M with a 2-point victory over Texas Southern. And I'm going to talk about Texas Southern here in a second, because they just seem to have fallen off a cliff here the past couple weeks. FAMU gets it 66-64. Not only did FAMU get the victory, they went on the road to Houston at Texas Southern to get the victory. And we know that is a tough place to play, don't matter who the team is. And then on Monday, Looking at other scores around the SWAC, Florida A&M kept it rolling again. They went 2-0 over the weekend over the Texas schools, 78-67 as the Rattlers got the victory over the Panthers. Alcorn State, a big victory over in-state opponent Mississippi Valley. They picked up where Jackson State left off, 86-39. Jackson State kept it rolling against the Golden Lions, 94-78 over UAPB. Bethune-Cookman goes into Texas Southern. Once again, I'm going to talk about Texas Southern here in a second. Bethune-Cookman gets a 3-point victory, 80-77 over Texas Southern as Reggie Theus and the Wildcats rolled on, and then Grambling rolls on 72-61 on the road against Alabama A&M. And, of course, I told you, Southern takes their first conference loss, snaps the 10-game winning streak that they've had, 82-81 over a loss to Alabama State. You see, it just kind of took everything out of me because of that one. 10-game winning streak heading into that. Let's look at the SWAC conference standings. Let's start at the bottom, and let's work our way up. And one of those teams, as I continue to talk about, is going to be Texas Southern midway through this. But let's start at the bottom. Once again, UAPB is going to have to evaluate, I say this every year, evaluate all of your athletic programs, but in particular, men and women's basketball. Both men and women are at the bottom of the barrel in SWAC basketball. How about the men's team? They're 4-20 on the season, 1-10 in conference play. Right above them, Mississippi Valley, who is 1-10 in conference play as well. They're 3-21 on the season. Got to do some evaluation at those programs. I know UAPB had a lot of hopes for Coach Bozeman up there, but you know, I always have my second opinion about what happens there because I got to hear my mom about her alma mater on why they're not doing what Southern's doing. And being at 1-10 ain't what Southern doing. All right, let's move forward. Prairie View and Alabama A&M all sitting there at 3-8, 7 games out of first place. On the men's side. Grambling, how about them, the Tigers? Underachieving this year, 5-6 in conference play. You're talking about a team got a NCAA tournament victory last year. They took on Purdue. They were heavy favorites coming into this year, and now they're 5 games out of first place, sitting there at 5-6 on the season in conference play. Alabama State, one of those middle-of-the-pack teams who got the victory over Southern and snapped Southern's 10-game win streak, sitting there at 6-5 in conference play, 4 games out of first place. And then you're going to have 3 teams all stacked up. One of those teams I'm going to give you a little bit of information on. Alcorn State, Texas Southern, and FAMU. How about FAMU finding themselves in the thick of things, right? FAMU traditionally in basketball has been you use those sounds when you talk about Florida A&M basketball. This year, they are 7-4 in conference play, 3 games out of first place. And guess what? 2 games away from being 500 on the season, as their overall record right now is 10-12. They're 6-2 at home over in Tallahassee, playing in front of a crowd of nobody. But then you look at Alcorn State, 7-4, 3 games out of first place. They kind of found their stride since conference play. All 7 victories up for them this year over their overall record have come in conference play. They're 7-17 on the season. And then let's talk about Texas Southern, who was right there with Southern, seemed to be red hot. They're on a 3-game losing streak. That 3-game losing streak includes UAPB, who they gave the Golden Lions their first and only conference victory of the season, and then to go along with Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman. Texas Southern's kind of hit a slump. They're 7-4 right now. Aside from those 3 losses, their only other loss was to start the conference play season off against Southern. Southern went on the road and got that victory against them, which should be a good one today and on Monday with Prairie View and Texas Southern, all right? Right above FAMU, Texas Southern, and Alcorn, Bethune-Cookman. I'm telling you about that Reggie Theus team. Southern was lucky to get out of that one the way that they did, but that team is really good. They're sitting there tied in second place with Jackson State at 8-3, who Southern got the victory in overtime against Jackson State already. So Southern has already beaten Jackson State, Bethune-Cookman. They 40-piece Florida A&M. They got a victory over Texas Southern. Alcorn, it was just Alabama State in the way. They got in the victory over Grambling, Alabama A&M, Prairie View, Mississippi Valley, and UAPB. Guess what? We're on the back end of the schedule now. Things begin to flip. That's why we're back around with Prairie View today and Texas Southern on Monday. And, of course, the team sitting at the top spot is Southern University, 10-1 in conference play. The Jaguars so far have done their thing. Aside from Alabama State, they would have finished that first half of conference play 11-0. But that's why you cannot take no opponent lightly in this conference. Southern 8-0 on the season at home, 7-9 on the road. You're looking at today's opponent in Prairie View. Prairie View on the road thus far on the season is 2-15 on the road. And then on the other side for Texas Southern, who's going to be Monday's opponent, they're 3-10 on the road. So you're looking at other games around the SWAC today. You're going to have, let me make sure I got this right. Here we go. Going to have games around the SWAC. Southern, of course, Prairie View tip-off at 5 o'clock. Texas Southern versus Grambling at 4:30. Alcorn State against Bethune-Cookman at 4:30. Jackson State and Florida A&M at 5 o'clock. Alabama State and the Golden Lions of Pine Bluff tip-off at 5:30. And Alabama A&M in Mississippi Valley at 6 o'clock tip-off today. We got a call on the line? All right, let's go to the call lines. Chuck, got about 2 minutes with you. What's going on?
Oh, good morning, Perry. This is Chuck Hunt calling. I'm going to be quick. One thing I noticed that happened in SWAC had an upset there. Thinking about Florida A&M beating Texas Southern in Houston. And Patrick Crary, first season coach, he gave him a 1-year contract. And I think the board of trustees at FAMU realized, hey, look, we better extend here. And look, you just beat a school that has a success in basketball. Texas Southern, that's a team that's tough to beat. And looking at him coming in, and he realizes that he has what he's having to do to try to get a team together, and he doesn't, not having that much time and putting it together. And like the players seem to be buying into his system, but this is where it's going now in college sports. You have to talk about managing rosters and having to, because we're in the age of, we say, transfer portal and NIL. And this is even on the Power 5 level. Hubert Davis realizing that with North Carolina that things not working out. Hey, look, we say I need a general manager and a video coordinator. And and they say, what is your problem? You're the University of North Carolina, but there's just a changing college landscape, and I'm just going to land on that one.
Hey, definitely is. Thank you, Chuck, as always, for the call in. And anybody else want to call in this morning as we get ready to take a break and come back on the other side, the call line 225-499-1073 if you want to call in, 225-499-1073 if you're feeling any type of way about the basketball, baseball, about the band. Did you watch the Southern University Marching Band in the pregame show of the Super Bowl, the big stage, the Jennifer Hudson show, the nightcap, just whatever? Southern has been on the road. Southern baseball getting the first victory of the season yesterday, starting the season 1-0 against Texas Southern in the Cactus Jack HBCU Classic. Then we're going to roll on with basketball, men and women today. Southern women getting a victory over Texas Southern on Thursday, taking on Prairie View today. And Southern men going to try to bounce back from their first conference loss against Alabama State on last Monday, taking on Prairie View today. 225-499-1073 is the number you want to call in. We got to get ready to take a break. Stay tuned. We'll be back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
Talk about offense, we talk about Southern, and it begins with their passing game.
Tom, beyond potent, we're talking about high octane, we're talking about fast break, we're talking about 41 points a game, some 500-plus yards since Terrence Levy has taken over this offense.
Because that young man doesn't drop any ball.
With the legacy that you started here, you got to feel happy to see it continue on with Doug Williams.
Ball now back at the 22-yard line. Levy, no pressure at all. Touchdown, Ingram. The Bayou Classic. Levy on a first and goal play. Throws a touchdown. Grambling comes with a blitz. Levy steps in the pocket, and his pass is caught. One-handed grab.
Sort of in the middle of the road of the SWAC, but immediately they jump on the Jackson State defense. And here's Levy rolling out. And the pass is caught. Ball is at the 31-yard line. Again throwing the football downfield. Oh, and his receiver Hayes makes the catch. See you later. Touchdown, Southern. If you're going to get, I got some free tickets. Look out for it, brother. Going downfield. Oh, and what a play by Southern.
Score. He's played a lot tougher ever since. And this is a free play for Southern.
2nd and 15.
It's a free play.
Levy Completes his
It's
pass.
a free play.
Oh, and he's still up.
It's a free play.
Hayes is going to continue running inside the 10, the 5. Unbelievable, Michael Hayes. Third down. 23 for a first. Levy over the middle. Nice pass that time. 2nd and 20. Levy doesn't have to get it all, but he's going to have to pick up some yards. Here he is throwing. Nice catch made.
The receiver, Michael Hayes. There he goes.
Hayes makes the catch. Hayes still on his feet. Hayes looking for blocking. Hayes trying to find a hole. Hayes is still on his feet. He alley-oops. He's inside the 15 and drawn out a foul.
Touchdown.
The backfield. Plenty of time for Levy across the middle. Has his man at the 15. You know, I don't know if you want to break the spirit of Terrence Levy or not. Here he wings one wide open down the middle and a one-handed grab made.
The way. 3rd down and 4. And here's Lewis off the catch. Lewis still on his feet. And Lewis is streaking down the sideline. Touchdown. So they move back 5.
All right, Talk 107.3 FM. Good morning. It is the Jaguar Journal. I am Perry White. Good to have you guys with us. Shout out to everybody watching via our YouTube channel. How about Ronald Hunt? Teldrin, what's up, Teldrin? Lee, Mark Smith, my man Kevin Walker and the Walker brothers. What's up with you fellas? My man Edwin Moore always checking in. Greg Johnson, good morning, Greg. Lee checking in. Willie Bowden, good morning, Willie. KK Ash, good to have you guys with us. Hey, Regina Chenault, what's up? Sweet Noop 6, whoever you may be, I see you this morning. And everybody, hey, my man Thomas White Jr., Mogul Threads, you got to make sure you go and check him out. Get your SU Jaguar gear. Holler at my man Thomas White. He has Mogul Threads. They're going to get you right. Well, make sure you follow them on social media. My man Varg, what's up, V? Always ready to have a good time. Michael Reed, Road Dog, good morning to you as well. Everybody else that is out there. Jeremiah Clark, what's up with you? Desmond Allen, good to have you checking in. Mark Smith says he's checking in all the way from Sacramento, California. So once again, you never know who's listening. We get Sacramento. I had Harlem, New York. I had Miami, St. Petersburg. Of course, Texas is always on lock. From Dallas to Houston to San Antonio. Chicago checks in with us. Man, they're typically all over the place. Nashville, of course, we get across the South from Mississippi to Louisiana, Alabama, all the way over to Georgia and Atlanta. So people all across the place. D.C. checks in as well. So that's the power of being able to have this show via YouTube as well as social media. Not only because I always tell people, you may watch us on YouTube, you may watch us on Facebook, but we are a radio show, actually. You know, it's been started out one of the longest running radio shows in Louisiana, especially for black folks. How about that? But we're not just for black folks. We're for Southern University. We're for whatever is for the greater good of Southern University and HBCUs. But I'm always open to anybody to be at the table, okay? Perry White is an open book. Conversations can be to anybody because not only do we talk sports, we talk of the world of academia. We talk politics because I hold our politicians accountable, especially when it comes to Southern. What are we being cut for? Why aren't we seeing the things? And then if you say you're going to do something, I want to see you do it. Even all the way to the administrators of the school, as we've had most of the administrators here, from the athletic director to the president of the system to the chancellor of the actual institution at Southern Baton Rouge campus. And Perry White does not have a problem asking the tough questions along with board members. That is the purpose of this show, to say that we have a platform to be able to publicly ask these questions. Perry not here just to make sure everybody feel good. Sometimes I will ruffle some feathers, and that's okay. Sometimes you got to change from being content in order to see the world in a different way. For me, the way I see the world, can I explain it to you? After this big week of Southern University, banned everywhere from Super Bowl, and see, I went with them, and let me tell you about me. I realize a lot of times people will get caught into the headlights, and it's easy when you at these huge events where you're too busy or you want to be seen, and it happens. I'm an operations guy. When I'm in places like that, at these venues, I realize it may not be an opportunity to be around these professionals the way that they are. Anybody who saw me, I was asking questions to any and everybody trying to get information. Pulling in information from the network side, from the NFL side, from all around. Just talking to random people. How do you do this? What does it take for this to happen? How does this work? How many people did you need to make this happen? Even from the production side, I went up while they were producing all of everything that they wanted to do, and I asked questions. Even from the SWAC side, from the actual pregame and halftime show with Jimmy Johnson and the rest of the boys, Terry Bradshaw, Michael Strahan, I went and talked to all of the people around that. I'm soaking in knowledge, and of course, I'm a football official. So even on the day of the game, I'm soaking that in. I'm looking at what are these guys doing at the highest level with all eyes watching that I can take back to just do on my level. Everything I watched and I took in, I was wondering, how can I make that work for us on our level? These are the true professionals. These are the highest, these are the most sought after professionals when you're looking at this field to make it be as successful that it can be with all eyes of America watching. And it ain't always about the people that you see on the camera, the entertainment. You'll be amazed at the people that's behind the scenes that's making that guap, as we say. The movers and the shakers. That's where I was the one to have my conversations with, the movers and the shakers. I wasn't messed up about the people being on the TV, the celebrities and all of them. I wasn't messed up trying to be seen. I was trying to talk and be around the people that weren't seen, because these are the people that's really making things happen. That's where I got my interest from. That's what I was on. So now I got to thinking, I'm like, all right, Ocho Cinco and Shannon Sharp have both decided to donate $25,000 apiece, $50,000 in total for Southern University marching band. Why not invite these guys to Southern now? Because they requested for Southern. Let's invite these guys in football season to come to Southern for a football game, and later that night do nightcap from campus. Right? Jennifer Hudson brought Southern's band to the show. Why not bring Jennifer Hudson to the campus? Maybe she can perform with Southern's band doing one of the halftime shows. Now I'm starting to think the big stage, bringing it to our stage. Because these are the very resources that we have to reach into and tap in order to make that work. How about before the halftime show, we got Shannon and Ocho out on the field presenting a check to the Southern University marching band. And not only that, it gives them an opportunity to see what our culture is like from a big game. And if there's a game to pick, I would say Southern versus Jackson next year for football season. Let's invite these people. That's what when I'm around the room, these are the people. This is when you go talk to them and you invite them here. Cedric the Entertainer, who called out Southern's band before the halftime, announced them. Let's bring Cedric in. Have a good time. What we want to do is create excitement and bring these people. We go to where they are, but let's bring them to where we at, because guess what? They have a social media presence. They create a buzz. When we have our brand in that position, you got to keep that buzz going by all means necessary. And if you're able to get in the room with these celebrities and these movers and shakers, let's bring these movers and shakers right here to our campus. And let's give them an experience. And I'm not talking about none of that bougie stuff. Let's get them the raw. Let's take them amongst the people who actually support them, the people who tailgating. And that's what I love about Southern. The authentic, genuine Southern University Jaguar Nation fan. That's a good time. Everything ain't got to be on. Them people get tired of that. Everybody trying to kiss their butt and be, I'm this. Man, they just want to be amongst the people having a good time. That's a genuine, when they go back and talk about it, hey, whether it's a social media post or whether it's their show, we were down in Baton Rouge. Guess what? If we can get Shannon and Ocho here, Shannon may holler at Stephen A and say, let's bring First Take to Southern. First Take on Southern's campus the day before the Southern Jackson State game. Stephen A does his own podcast as well. Let him do it live from the campus. Now, once again, do y'all see the thinking and why when I go to events like the Super Bowl and everything else, I'm starting to get information from people to get ideas to then bring it back to what we do here, to then increase our brand, to then bring those big name people to where we are and then figure out how we then could then turn that into something for ourselves when we talk about brand recognition. This is how Perry White's mind think, outside the box and focusing on what can we do to continue to push this institution forward by the resource, because we say we don't have resources, but we was around a lot of resources the past 2 weeks that we have to take advantage of, and those people were requesting Southern because they requested them. Let's request them back and say, let me show you a good time for bringing me to your platform. Let me bring you to the side. Let me show you amongst the fans. Let me show you your people. Let me show you a good time and how we get down in South Louisiana. So when you go back, you're going to tell everybody about it. And if you want to come back, we got homecoming for you. But I'm just thinking about it. First Take went to these platforms, HBCUs, last year. Let's get Shannon and let's get him. Let's get First Take. Let's get Nightcap. Let's get Jennifer Hudson. Let's get all of these resources of people, of celebrities, who can make an impact to our institution via social media, via impressions, viral, whatever the case you want to be. Let's get them around, and let's not be so bougie about it, but let's show them a good time, a genuine Jaguar Nation good time. Hell, matter of fact, send them with me. I'll show them a good time. I would love to take them around the campus. We'll start here and go around the campus and have a damn good time amongst the people, because I am a man of the people. So that's just what I'm thinking about, using my mind through the different areas in which we were around today. Hey, be sure to follow the Jaguar Journal on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, as well as YouTube. Type in the Jaguar Journal. We're also on X and Instagram at the Jaguar Journal _ and Facebook at the Jaguar Journal. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like and follow button. I want to thank you guys. Tip off for the women's game today at 2:30. Tip off for the men's game at 5 o'clock, FG Clark Activity Center. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for everybody tuned in. We'll be back next week at the same time, the same place. As always, it's the Jaguar Journal. Have a good weekend. What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.